Hello. So I'm popping on here to record a response to a question that I had on Instagram not too long ago. Well, actually, maybe like a month ago. But I had asked like my community to let me know what questions they had around spirituality, and I would answer them. And I'm finally taking the time to answer one of these questions that goes like this: spirituality when facing rejection, how to be real without whining. So here's the thing: rejection is an illusion. Bottom line, like, rejection isn't the truth in and of itself. It's a concept, it's a mental construct. The truth is simply frequencies moving, consciousness expressing itself, consciousness unfolding as it is. And so when we as a human, because we're like incarnated into these dense frequencies that we experience as a physical body, and that we experience as limited perception, because we can only perceive from this organ that resides inside of our skull. And in and of itself, it is always distorted. It is always limited. It can only see based off of everything it's been exposed to up until now. And so rejection is empty. The truth of it is that it is empty. It's a word. It's a concept being projected onto something that is, quote unquote, occurring to us. There is a subtle energy of feeling victim to the external situation when we identify with feeling rejected. That there's nothing wrong with that. There really is also no right or wrong. There is just simply consciousness unfolding, things moving, frequencies interacting and then dismantling and dissipating and going in different directions. That's the nature of existence, really. And so, how to be real without whining? I'm trying to understand what you mean by that question. How to be real without whining? Well, is whining real for you? What does whining mean in your experience? Whining is also, it's a perception. And somebody may experience your truth as a whining expression, but that doesn't matter. You see, like it's still empty. Like it's not real. You probably could improve the delivery of your feelings when you're, quote unquote, being rejected. You could improve the delivery of your perception. But no matter what, it's always distorted. That's the truth behind this, is that you have to allow yourself to recognize that you don't see clearly, that the individual who is supposedly rejecting you doesn't see clearly, and that's okay. Once we really allow ourselves to recognize that we don't know the truth, we embody a little bit more truth. And we embody a little bit more freedom. when we're exposed to a concept of rejection, like an external experience that we identify as rejection, it highlights the little parts within us that are still insecure, that are still codependent, that are still separate, still experiencing its reality from a state of separateness versus connectedness. When we allow ourselves to feel and practice true connection, then we recognize that when the other, the individual or the thing outside of us makes a decision that is not necessarily what our ego, our body would prefer, it's just their frequency unfolding in a different direction, making space for whatever is next for us, for our incarnation. There's a subtle dissonance and it's following that. And so allow that dissonance to be. And if your feelings are challenged, you're completely free to communicate that as well. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm sad by this. I'm hurt by this. This makes me feel unseen or unheard. You can communicate that as much as you want. You perceiving it as whining is something to go deeper with. At what point in your earlier life were you told that communicating your feelings meant whining? And if you can find that, if you can come to a concrete memory, retell the story. Retell the story, or forgive the story, whichever you prefer. Forgive the situation. Look at it from an omniscient perspective, as if you are the being that you are now, looking down into the experience and see the truth for what it is. The individual that told you you were whining or something like that, gave you that impression, they themselves have a distorted perspective. If you don't know the truth, forgive them. It's a lot easier. And I recognize your freedom in that. Your freedom in the forgiveness. By virtue of forgiving, you create a whole new trajectory of accepting how you feel and releasing others from affirming how you feel. So, spirituality when facing rejection, how to be real without whining. Just be real. That's really that's the answer. How to be real without whining. Just be real. Remove the tone of whining and let the other have their process. That's to remove the whining. You recognize that rejection isn't real. It's not you are not being rejected, even if you experience in that way, even if the individual or the situation that is going against what you want is saying it's because of you. It's not. At the truth of that, it is simply consciousness unfolding and moving into a new form relative to your experience and your perspective as an individual incarnation and expression of the whole. Okay, cool. Let me know if you have any questions. And feel free to reach out if you would like individual support.